Hello, my name is Russ Merrick, and I'd like to welcome you to the manufacturing facility of Merrick Machine Company located here in Alva, Nebraska. What we have for you here, this is a 32-foot diamond quad framing table. You're going to do wood construction, wood walls, interior, exterior walls, and so forth. You do them on this table, whether you're doing modular homes or multifamily, what have you. This is usually the ticket. Once again, it's 32 foot. We've got a series of flippers on here to talk about some of the features and benefits for you, the customer. We've got cast iron flippers that actually fall down. I'll try and get out of the shot here so you guys can see that. Well, number one, why are they color coded and why do they flop down? Let's talk about that right off the get-go. What you're doing on the yellow flippers, you notice you got yellow all the way down one side and on the opposite side, but wherever there's a yellow flipper is 16-inch on center. So each one, this one's got a double yellow, this one just has one yellow. Well, that's 16-inch on center. Wherever there's a blue one, there's 12-inch on center. Okay, so just keep that in mind each and every time. So once again, you're 16 on center, 16, 16, all the way down the table. Likewise on the opposite side of the table. Now, what do you need that for? Well, if you're, you got operators in here, they're trying to build a wall, you want them framing, you want them going lickety-split, you want to go ahead and just throw a stud in here every 16-inch on center, the guy knows where to put them all the time. You don't have to mark your plate out, you don't have to lay things out. Let's say you have a partition lead-in or something, you're going to throw that on there, or you've got a buck, say a window buck or a door buck or something like that, you're going to lay it in here, and you put it on 16-inch on center, you come down here, and all of a sudden we got two flippers laying down. Okay, it'll go ahead and drop it down because you got a header on one side. These have to get out of the way, so if there's a header here, or you got a pack, so there's 3 2x4 side by side, they got to be able to flop out of the way. So the advantage to you is you can lay the stuff up, lickety-split, and just keep running down the road. Ideally, you're going to want to take the entire wall and fill it up with either short walls or long walls. Fill the entire table. You want to get as much throughput as possible. Some of the other advantages and things we have here, we've got skate wheel rollers. The skate wheel rollers are not, they're on the this side, which would be the left side of the screen, and also on the right side of the screen that you're going to see. And they're air operated. So after you get done framing a wall, we've actually got a little valve over here. You come over here, you fire the valve off. We engage all the cylinders. You've got a framed wall, you can take it from here and you just roll it right on all the way down and get it offline, put it on some conveyor, take it to the next station, whatever your case may be. When you're all said and done, go ahead and dump the air out of the system. It's going to go ahead and fall down and you guys can go ahead and start framing again. One of the things you probably can't see in the shot, I'll come around to this side one more time. We've actually got what we call a tape track. So there's a tape measure that's actually positioned inside this channel. There's one on the left side of the screen where I'm standing and one on the right side of the screen. And that tape measure is there so the operator can actually go ahead and lay in and figure out where the window and door buck openings are. By chance, if they know, hey, this one's 8 foot in, he can just run right down. He can say, okay, great, here's 8 foot, go ahead and put the buck in this area. And then go ahead and sprinkle the rest of your studs around it. Real useful advantage. The pop-up rollers are a real must on a diamond quad table. You've also got a center support bar. If you're, why need a center support bar? Now this table is actually closed up. You notice it's really small, really almost too small. Well, we close it down to 6/9. This is one big giant weldment. We skid it and it fits inside a semi-truck. So assembly is real easy. You get it off the truck and so forth, then you can open it up. This table is really sweet because on this side we have a drum switch. So on the drum switch I can actually open it up, as you can see here, and we go from 6/9 fully closed, okay, and we can run out to 12/3, or excuse me, 10/3 on this side. So there's a rack and pinion system. So there's a main drive shaft. It's actually running right down the center of this table on this side. And you've got a gear rack on each one of these telescoping tubes. You pull the lever towards you, and it starts to run right out, and away we go. You get it all the way in the inside, push the drum switch towards the table that you want to close it, and off you go. Now, this is a double adjust table. What does that really mean? Normally we're going to sell this with a single adjust or a double adjust. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. Single adjust if you want to go from 6/9 to 10/3. And you need a double adjust if you want to go from, let's take it out another 2 feet. Let's go from 10 to 12, for example. So 12/3, you say, well, what do we need to go to 10/3 or 12/3 for? What's the advantage? Well, a lot of times customers, depending on what area of the country and how you guys build, what you're looking for is you're gonna have your framed wall in here. 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 You're gonna have your framed wall and you're going to want to put your another 2x4 in here, or a double top plate. A double top plate you might be hanging over when you're connecting two walls, or you're trying to go for a cross T wall, for example. Anyway, this will actually open up that extra 2 inches that you need, 1.5 inches, to get that second 2x4 in there. So keep running this out here a little bit more. Once again, it's a rack and pinion system. There's a main drive shaft. There's bearings that need to be greased going back and forth. You've got 2 electric motors on the left side of the screen, on this side of the table, and there's 2 on the right side of the table, just the opposite of myself. Now, the other thing you'll notice, back to the center support bar, I kind of ran past that a second. The big advantage here is when your operators are pulling this out and you're trying to do 12-3 or 10-3, you're going to go ahead and throw the studs across. So this has something to rest on. But once the wall's all set up, you're going to have the crown in the up position on your studs. So, you know, the crown and the going up. Use this for resting, but once you get all the 2x4s within the yellow spacing, or the blue spacing if you're looking for 24-inch on center, for example, this center support bar is adjustable. You can bring it up and down. Ideally, you want it about a 1/2 inch away from the bottom of the wall. And the biggest reason there is you can actually take a a panel staple bridge and put a bridge on top of this if you're doing sheeting and so forth. And this actually holds everything up. So when you come down with the bridge, if you have a sheeting bridge, a sheeting diamond quad, and you don't want that wall to flex too far, and this actually stops that from happening. Good advantage. The standard feature comes on there. The other thing we have going on, get that out of the way, we've got a select-o-matic scoring stop, and we'll cut the video and insert that so you guys can see that real quick. But select-o-matic scoring stop is pretty neat. You can actually move the increments an 1/8 inch at a time. Everything's actually marked, so you got a circular plate with a series of holes every 1/8 of an inch with a 1/4 inch pin. So you can dial this in and you want to say, okay, where does my first stud go? What's my offset going to be? Now, not only do you have one on the left side of the screen that you're seeing, there's one on the right side as well. So if you have an operator on either side, you can go ahead and, hey Joe, the offset's going to be set it at 3 1/4. You can go ahead and dial in 3 1/4. There's a series of numbers starting with 0 that are stamped. You move to the right, you've got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and so forth as you move this way. As you turn to the right. So it'd be counterclockwise and just the opposite clockwise on the right-hand side. Great feature. We have the standard casting that we have normally. It's available. It's got a rod on here with a series of shaft colors and handmill casting. Or you have select-o-matic, which is what we have shown in this video. This is the select-o-matic scoring stop. It's one of the options that we have available you can purchase. For instance, select-o-matic scoring stop, we actually started a 0 number that's on the dial itself. So we're going to begin with 0, and if you'll notice, you got a series of holes that are all stamped, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way around. You get back to 12. And anyway, there's a series of 4 holes here, so every hole is a 1/4 inch increment. So if I start here, and I want to go 1/4 inch, so if I want to make my offset some distance, I want to reduce it or increase it. Say I want to go to 3 1/4, there's 3 1/4. All the guy has to do is look, because each one of these is stamped 1 inch increments. Then just go over 1 extra hole or 2 extra holes for 1/2 inch or another hole for 3/4, and finally another full inch. So that's the select-o-matic scoring stop. It's run on a gear running inside on a rack and pinion style of system that pivots in the center. Really great, really unique for doing this. Now, the blue hose that you see here and one you saw on the opposite side, the right side of the screen, if you order a series of like tool dollies, for instance, this customer bought a set of dollies. They're not on this table at this time. We wanted to show you this dolly itself, Dolly Rail in the system. Normally we have, this is a coil hose that's going to get attached to it, and a dolly would come in here with 2 pneumatic nail guns side by side, and you're going to go ahead and drive 2 16-penny nails into each stud, through the plate into each one of the individual studs, or the pack, or the partition lead-in, or the corner, the L trimmers, headers, so forth. This air hose is actually a hose management system that gets hooked up to the dolly itself, and the dolly runs on this V-groove wheel angle iron rail, and you can run all the way down the end of the table and so forth. Once again, that's a feature you can buy. If you don't want to buy the dollies that go on here, we have 2 styles. One's a manual dolly and one's an auto dolly. The auto dolly, you just basically hit a button and it works. The manual dolly, you have to actually engage in and press a button, pull the trigger, and it fires. Sweet, sweet deal. Big advantage. We also have outriggers. Outriggers are spread out, and they're positioned. They go along about every 8 feet on the table. And what it is a foot that comes down off the main tube that supports that side of the tabletop. So you say, well, what do you, the customer, need an outrigger for? Well, that's real simple. Once you're actually getting out here a ways, you don't want the table to tip if there's too much weight on it. Say you're actually taking a crane trying to lift your walls up, for example, like this customer is going to be doing. The outrigger's out there to help support the load of this tabletop, so when it rolls out, it's nice and smooth. And you have floors that are inconsistent, so each one of those outriggers are actually slotted, so you can make an adjustment based on your floor pad that each one's sitting on. So there's 3 on this side and there's 3 on the opposite side, the left-hand side of the screen. Nice little feature and benefit we have. You've got one main air connection. It's a filter regular combo that we have here with a gauge on it. That's where you're going to hook in your main air supply. And then down below you've got a disconnect box that's normally closed. We've got a pigtail on here just for demonstration purposes. And then you've got a serial number plate that's attached. If you got any questions on this, call the factory at 1-800-568-7423. Or go look us up online at triadruvo.com, and you can see our website. If you need service support, things of that nature. Main disconnect box is right here. You're going to have electrician come in, either put a pigtail or hog wired in direct, running conduit and so forth. You've actually got hose, the air hose management system that runs in and out on the left side of the screen as well as the right side of the screen. You've got 1/4-inch hose that's actually feeding the pop-up rollers, and you got a 1/2-inch line that comes up here if you're going to feed the dolly rail. Once again, the dolly rail and a dolly system is all optional. This is a Diamond Quad 32-foot table. We make a variety of different things, whether you're doing steel construction for commercial or residential. If you're doing wood construction along these lines, interior, exterior, multifamily, so forth, Triad's got the answer. We've been building machines for over 50 years. Give us a jingle. Once again, my name is Russ Merrick. If you got any questions, you call the factory at 1-800-568-7423. And thanks for your time. Okay, a Diamond Quad steel framing table, or you have a Diamond Quad wood table, which is what we have here today for you. You got a rack and pinion system. I'm just running this all the way out. There's a gear rack on one side, and there's a main drive shaft that runs through the center with a spur gear on it. And there's a stop that's actually welded on the rack that's outside your vantage point, you the customer. But for example, here's a 32-foot table. It's actually a little bit longer than that overall, but when we measure 32 feet, we're looking at getting a 32-foot wall on the table, so we actually have to extend it longer, so there's more things reaching out beyond the actual wall length that you need. We've got telescoping tubes, which are running in on this side. Telescoping tube on the other side, because this is a double adjust. It takes us out to 12.3, for example. So all that person has to do is throw a tape on one side. If you're just going to do 10.3 for most of the time, you can just open up one side and leave the one side fixed constantly and not worry about it at all. Now if you're going to do 12.3, you can go ahead and open the other side and adjust it out. Or any combination thereof, whatever kind of trips your trigger. So there's a stop on there. Normally each side, we talked about it before, you can see some of the inserts on the video. There's an outrigger leg. It's actually positioned one here. There's another one midstream, and there's one on the opposite end of the table, an outrigger. As you can see, the table top was bouncing just a little bit. There's really nothing out there to support it, but the outrigger actually goes down to the concrete pad, and it's adjustable depending on where your pad is. Because yeah, believe it or not all concrete pads are flat or on the same plane. Anyway, table runs in and out. Once again, you got a rack and pinion system on this side. Just wanted to show this quick demonstration of running this table in and out. It comes up against a fixed welded stop. There's a fixed welded stop on every series of tubes right on down the line. So in this case, there's 5 total tubes. Once again, my name is Russ Merrick. If you got any questions, call the factory at 1-800-568-7423 or go look us up online at triadruvo.com. You can see other machines that are actually available, component machines, saws, stair routing equipment, and so forth. Also door equipment. If you got any other questions, don't even hesitate. Triad's been around for over 50 years. It's the one to look at, it's the one to measure, it's the one everybody's chasing. Call us. Thank you.